Okay. This roll call.
Valerie.
Here.
Fred.
Present.
I am here. Vanessa.
Here.
Brooke. Here. And Rachel and Eric are not here yet,
Okay.
but we have a quorum.
Okay. The agenda amendments and approval of the agenda. Anybody want to change it? Shorten it?
Do we want to add, we can just wait till next meeting for review of minutes, or just
Where's
have
the,
Yeah, because minutes aren't on here.
I don't think I
minutes are
have,
not on here, but we can wait till the next meeting.
just the agenda, I don't think we have the agenda.
What happened? Well, yeah, that's an agenda.
I did not get out the tablets, I forgot.
That's
I
okay.
printed it out, so I've got a
I
copy.
mean, I looked at it earlier. and it was
Yeah.
okay.
It's all, I just have it on my phone. So is
I
there,
apologize.
I will move to
Can you read it to
approve.
us, Val?
pardon me?
Can you just read it to us? There's only a couple items on there.
Well, there's 9 items on it.
You're on here, number 8.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is that what you wanted to know?
no, just, Brooke was wanting to know that Brooke was on.
I know.
You got it?
Okay,
It's
I'm
on-
fine with it.
It's on the city website if you want to go to that.
okay. Craig made the motion to approve the agenda. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Citizens input? None. Number 4, pool. Brenda, you're up.
Well, I'll.
Oh, you're up.
Brenda's here as reinforcement.
Oh, you were
We'll both talk.
So, what you have before you is the proposal for the 2026. This is essentially what we've gone through and evaluated everything we could think of to try to close that revenue gap at the aquatic center.
Which document are you
Which handout are we looking
Oh,
at?
sorry, it's this pink thing. It says
Program revenue.
program revenue reports for the Willard Aquatic Center
Okay.
projected option open. So our biggest expense at the Aquatic Center is seasonal staff. The method that we've decided to approach to reduce that is by shortening the pool season. So essentially it would open June 1st to the public, close August 8th. The rationale for that choice was that last week of May, the weather is pretty cool typically. Everybody takes their just out of school vacations. So not a ton of participation and attendance that first week. And again, with the last week, it's the last couple weeks in August. It's a combo. All of our officials start to become engaged in their back to school program. So registrations and camps and our college staff have headed back to college. And then the other folks really, participation really drops that last week due to folks taking that last vacation of summer. So that was one of the major areas to reduce.
How many days is that taking away?
That's taking away 40 days of operations. It'll be 20 days of at the end of the month, and then our lowest volume days were Thursdays, so we won't open to the public on Thursday. So we'll be open Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday to the public. We're moving our start time back from noon to 1. So we'll be open Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 1 to 6,
7.
1 to 7. And then on Thursday, we'll be closed. It will be available for rentals. It will be open Friday and Saturday, and then we'll be closed Sunday to the public, again, available for rentals.
And Friday and Saturday, is that 1 to 7?
Also 1 to 7. So that reduces our staffing costs pretty significantly. So moving into the expenses on that, last year we had spent about $104 on punch cards. We upped that to which was 2 cases of punch cards. We've upped that to 25 cases of punch cards. The reason being we've eliminated the season passes, the individual and family season passes. Those were loss leaders. And then with the shortening of the pool by a significant volume, we just did not see the potential for people doing an entire season pass. We increased the family monthly membership to $200 and the individual monthly membership to $100. That's up from $100 for a monthly pass for a family, and then up $30 for an individual pass.
Okay, I have a question real quick.
Yes,
Punch cards, the quantity, you have 25 punch cards, or is that 25 swim?
that's 25 cases of punch cards with 50 in it.
Okay, got it.
So we'll get to the rationale on why the much larger increase in the number of punch cards in just a second, but most of the rest of the expenses will remain pretty much the same. Chemicals, certifications, all of that stuff will remain pretty steady. Moving into the revenue side of things, we have adjusted the number of family passes. We've reduced the number that we expect to sell because we've doubled the price of it. And with the reduction of operating hours, we envision that people will see the punch pass as a better value for them. We have increased the daily rate to $7 for 2026 from $6. But we're leaving the punch pass the same as it was last year, so it'll be a $5 per entry punch pass value. So there will be 10 punches, you'll be able to buy that card for $50. So it is actually a good alternative to a season pass or a monthly pass in terms of value for the patron, and it still gives us the better return in terms of reducing our cost that could be attributed to the family and monthlies, or the family and individual season passes.
How many times does somebody come to the individually to the pool?
So last year we had about 9,900 individual day pass entries.
Okay.
So, and then we sold another, we sold about 80% of our punch cards, and those were used at about 70% usage. So basically, we were selling punch cards for $50 for 10 punches.
You have a bunch already.
People would use about 7 of those punches on average. So obviously, some people used all 10 and bought another one, and used all 10 and bought another one, and used 2 or 3. We've decided that was probably the best compromise for giving customer value and giving parks revenue generation.
Here, on this page.
Okay, thanks. Moving down into
You have the memberships for the season on there still with nothing, because you're eliminating those, right?
correct, yep.
Thanks.
Moving on to swim lessons. We have gone back and forth with offering swim lessons. Swim lessons are not a revenue generator. They are a high-cost operation because we have to account for training the instructors to do it, providing the instructor on site to provide the training, and then an actual lifeguard to watch the instructor provide the training. So we're really paying essentially 3 guards per swim lesson period or class. And the revenue that we can generate off of the swim lessons just isn't there. We left that off of the revenue evaluation just because we're trying to shrink that gap. Moving into the party pads. The swim team, we expect to have 150 participants. Last year the cost was $125. This year we've raised it by $5 to $130 per participant. Moving into the rentals, last year we had 86 hours of party pad rentals at $30. This year we've increased the rental cost by $10 to $40. The entire rental of the pool, we've That average cost last year was about $220. We have the three different phases, or three different stages of pool rental based on the number of participants, but we averaged about $220 per rental. So we've made the adjustments to account for that and are increasing that. We expect we'll have the same number of private pool rentals, even though it is a little bit more expensive per
And that's
rental.
based on like $45 an hour is what you're charging?
$40 per hour for the party pad rental, the shade awning with the picnic table, $225 per hour for the rental of the entire pool.
Okay, and it doesn't matter how many people show up? right?
It's tiered.
It's tiered, so there's a 50 to 75 level, a 76 to 150 level, and there's 150 and up, and those are priced appropriately to cover the lifeguarding cost, so.
Okay.
So this is an average, 225.
Yeah, the 225 is the average.
It's the most popular one that we get.
Oh, sorry, it's the median. The median, not the mean.
Okay.
Median. My apologies. This year, you may note we added a shade awning rental, which is, we have 4 covered pavilions at the pool. 2 of them are party pads, that's the $40 per hour. 2 of them are just open for patron use. We are considering adding that as a reservable feature, $15 per hour, and just have a QR code on the table, said, want some shade, rent this spot. And then once the person rents it, they can say, everyone in the pool can come here and hang out in the shade with me, I don't care. But we want to run that option by the board to see if that is a good idea for generating additional revenue. Moving into the point of sale, like I mentioned, we've increased the daily entry rate from $6 to $7. Again, we had about 9,900 people. And then that 0.85 is a multiplier because we shortened the week by 15%. We expect that number will be reduced by 15%, but I wanted to show the number of participants, visiting the pool, to see how that calculated out. It does increase the overall revenue, but wanted to account for the fact that we are shortening the pool week, so we want to make sure that we're accounting for that. We raised the senior swim rate up to $5 per visitor. We left the non-swimmer fee alone, and then we added a evening swim. So you can't be at the pool for the whole day, but you can come from 4 to 7 and get in for $4. So you don't have to pay $7 for the visit. It's to incentivize the afternoon crowd to go ahead and go out to the pool because it's still a good value. The other, in that other category, those are just participation fees for the 2 swim meets that we host. We sell swim diapers, and then we do offer lifeguard classes to outside organizations. So all in all, this revenue report projects nearly the same revenue generation. Even though we've shortened the week, we've increased the fees to account for that. We shortened the week and we shortened the season. And our net revenue is actually still a loss at $16,184 or $185.34 projected. One thing that is contributing to this that didn't contribute to last year's and may help illustrate some of that is that this year we have included Brenda's cost. Her salary is her salary is part of the overhead, so we're accounting for that. But even if you subtract that, we're still looking at a net loss of $4,000.
I don't see Brenda's on here.
It is the very top under
Oh, the very
other.
top.
Yeah, it's got manager, which is going to be the
Oh,
pool
okay,
manager that's there when
expense,
she's
got
not
it,
available.
got it, okay, sorry.
Okay.
And that wasn't accounted for last
That was not accounted for in last year's budget.
Okay, so I have a question. On the very bottom, this is revenue, other swim diapers, this is a selling swim diapers,
Yes.
and is this gate fee for swim meet in Nixa?
Home swim meet, that is the participation fee that we charge the visiting swimmers to participate in the swim meets that we
Okay,
host.
so do we also charge a gate fee for the people coming to watch it? or
We
they just-
can't, the league that we're in the summer, that's in the bylaws that we do not charge.
Okay.
And everyone has to just pay $1, so that's all we get is
Okay.
we get $1 to them.
So my other question is gonna be, is this gonna affect the swim team on the shorter hours in August? Or are they done?
The swim team is done at the end of June.
At the end of
The
June,
la-
the first
and usually the first week of July is their championships series week, and then they're finished with swim team.
So, after, what was it, August 8th, was it?
Yeah.
August the 8th, are you gonna still have the pad rentals?
After August
Rent
8th,
the pool
the
out?
pool will be available for rent, for private rentals, for a period of time. I know that there will be some people who would like to rent the pool after that. If we can get those booked on the calendar, that would be fantastic. Also, every day that the pool is in operation, we are spending money keeping it from turning green. So if we roll around to the end of July and we've got 2 parties booked for August, we're gonna try to move those as early in August as we can, and then cease operations in early August. So
And how much shorter is that compared to last year?
last year's pool season was 79 days.
Right, 72 days
72
open
days.
swim.
Yeah.
This year it'll be 50 days open swim for the
So we're
public.
shortening the season by
And shortening hours too.
22 days and shortening the operating hours.
So when did we quit on the season last year? August
It was 15, 16.
15th, so
Yeah.
it's cutting
It was
it
the
about a
day
week.
right before school started.
Yeah, it's
Saturday.
cutting it about a week then.
Yeah,
Week early.
and then usually open a week before,
Memorial Day weekend.
from Memorial Day weekend, so what, losing basically 2 weeks?
Yes.
That's
2
not
weeks.
too bad.
And then every Thursday.
And then every Thursday.
And opening at 1 instead of noon. And no splash time. And no lap swim.
Yeah, so those programs that don't generate revenue,
Yeah.
the lap swim where we have 5 or 6 swimmers at $2 or $3 a piece and doesn't cover the cost of the 2 lifeguards we need. And the splash time, which is, we've always done is mommy and me, toddler time in the 0 entry area. We've eliminated those programs.
Okay. So, but you'll still have, I know like once an hour, empty out the pool, adults can get in and swim. Kind of a lap swim, so
Right.
they can do that then.
Right,
Right.
every quarter of the hour, before the hour.
Yeah, I know you clear the pool,
Mhm.
although the kids get out, but the adults can get in.
So Mommy and Me was like, you didn't have no participation?
It was a free program, so there was no
It was
Yeah,
from 11 to
revenue
12,
generated.
right before we opened.
But we don't think we'll make money in that week of August that we cut out, is that the deal?
And
Um,
we made about 4,000 last year that week.
Is it worth it then? I guess that's the question. Not
Uh,
worth it. I mean, if we're not making money, then I guess.
So let's see, we've got it down to only a $16,000
I
in the
mean,
hole.
people will probably complain about that.
Local, hey,
The main part, who cares? It's cold.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's-
August 15th, it's,
I like the method of cutting costs and raising additional revenue.
Yeah,
8,000 each, so.
Yeah,
appreciate
we're
that.
trying to move both levers. I feel like we're really bumping up against what the market will bear for pool entry when, for $3 more you get the rush for all day at Republic. For Springfield is $5, right?
Yeah, we would be the highest in the area besides Republic.
So, sorry,
$6 would be better, but
back on the August thing, why are we shutting down a week early? I'm guessing
That
you're
is,
the numbers.
that's the actual lowest, surprisingly, it's the lowest volume week we have after May.
So you said we made 4,000, I mean, it cost us more than 4,000 to run it, so you're saying.
Correct.
That is surprising though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's,
Back to school time.
Is it back to school time, is that what it is?
yeah, it's,
Before you go back to school, you're trying to do back to school
And
shopping.
everybody's just not doing it.
You go on vacation one last
Trip,
time.
right.
Yeah.
Okay, I got it.
you
Can I ask
may,
about our swim team?
do what?
Our swim team, how do we compare our costs, like our participation costs compared to other area swim teams?
We have the highest.
Just seems like a $5 bump isn't very much. Feels like you could do
Well,
more.
we only include, so that includes a swim cap and a t-shirt. Most swim teams, they give a suit and they charge $100 and they give a suit, a cap, and entry fees.
But we also turn people away, right?
We
for our swim team.
haven't,
So. we-
My friend got turned away last year. They told her she couldn't do swim team.
huh?
So, I mean, do you have a limit of how many children are on the swim team?
Well, we put 150 because we have about 30 at each practice, 30 to 40. She needs to talk to us because we do swim tests and make sure they're divided by categories, so by ability.
Yeah, that's why they rejected her. They said she was too good.
So if we were to raise the swim team
I
up
talked
by
about it.
Yeah, talk to me about
$5 and
that.
take our
I
pool
understand
down to
that,
6
yes.
rather than
They
7.
told her she'd make the other kids feel bad.
I'm just
Oh,
wondering,
talk to me about that.
I'm concerned about taking the pool up to $7. Is there something else that we can raise up?
That's what I'm saying, can we raise
Yeah.
swim team?
We
Raise
did
the
just
swim team
raise
at
swim
5
team,
and then
But only by $5.
right.
Yeah.
We raised
Well-
it last year also.
Last year, we raised it from 100 to 125.
Yeah.
So.
Did you have very many people complain?
No, they do.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
People love, everyone I know loves Willard swim team. I'm not trying to say like, let's jack it up, but if we can keep the cost of the pool at $6 and raise swim team, where we have that many kids that want to do it and are participating, parents who are taking them to these like
Yeah.
$150 to do swim team for a month with the level that we do it in Willard and for how
Oh,
much they
yeah.
get to do, I don't think
Yeah.
that's too much to ask, and I think that, I mean, also the punch card is a great thing, and if you market that, then really saying $7 probably isn't a big deal for people who will buy the punch cards, but I think $6 at the pool and raise swim team,
I think they wouldn't notice the price increase if we lumped it in with a suit, cap, like the whole combo. They probably wouldn't notice that much of a bump.
But if
At
we
the
put the
level we're
suit
at
in
right
now,
now,
then
they
it's
might
gonna,
notice a bump.
then it's gonna take the price back up.
but I mean, that many, I don't think you're gonna have people, the people who do swim team in Willard are hardcore about swim team in Willard. They're used to buying their own suits. I just don't think we're gonna get a lot of pushback on that.
Yeah, let's look and see how those numbers would crunch. If we take the pool pass, or the day pass down to 6, and raise the swim team up, see what we can work out in those numbers, if we can kind of get them equal.
Is there an easy way to pay when you go? Like, you don't have to have cash or
Yeah, you just,
whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an easier way.
Yeah, we have card, and, yeah, we've got card.
We don't have
Because
access.
$6 is a weird amount, like, it's just weird, you know?
Yeah.
It's been that way for a while, though.
yeah,
Used to be
Raised it
5.
last year, yeah.
They
raised
take-
it.
I mean,
credit cards.
I know from experience, like, I could sell a cupcake for $5 all day long, but the minute I go 6, they can't find that extra dollar. Like, they just can't.
But it's been 6 for
It's been 6 for a
several
while,
years, right?
So
I don't think anybody's gonna.
Yeah,
We raised it from 5 to 6 last year.
When we
Yeah.
put in the punch pass.
When we put in the punch pass at the throwback rate.
I think the punch pass is a great idea, and if you say it's $7, you might have more people buy the punch pass, because it's a good deal.
Yeah.
I don't know. Let's look at that
So
before
the
we decide.
proposal is to keep the daily rate at $6 and cover it with a.
Well, or
increase in
just-
swim team perhaps.
Just
Look at
see what
that.
it would look like.
Yeah, let's look at
Okay.
that.
I just wanna make notes.
Yeah, let's look at that and then see if we can't make up the difference by adding an extra $5 on the party pads.
So go take the party pads from 30 to 45.
35, or add an extra
Well,
$5 for
They were
those.
30 last year, right? The party pads?
35,
So raise
because
the
we
party
just
pads
raised
by
it again.
$10. So last year the party pads were 35. This year in this proposal,
Oh,
we've
yeah.
got raised to 40.
Oh, you got raised to 40, okay, you already raised to $5, okay.
45 sounds better. I mean, it does.
Hey, we gotta inch these pennies out to somebody, you know, sorry.
Who rents the party pads? Like birthday parties or?
Birthday parties mostly.
Okay, so what's the going rate for birthday parties around here?
I mean, $45 still is,
Pretty cheap.
Yeah,
That's
So
still
the
pretty
advantage, the party pad is basically you get to bring in food.
Yeah.
It doesn't cover your cost of getting in, you just get to bring in food.
Yeah, but you also
You
get
have
that
a-
covered
you have a
spot to
reserved
sit, it's
area.
reserved.
And
I
you
mean,
have-
anywhere you go, you still have to pay, like Incredible Pizza, you still have to pay all the same stuff, and then you pay to get a
Okay.
table.
Who's got young kids? Fred? You have a party someplace outside of the house? You have a
Oh,
Chuck
bad
E. Cheese,
example.
Chuck E. Cheese
Yeah,
party?
we're miserly.
me too, huh?
Chuck E. Cheese parties, anybody do that? I mean, you know, you can rent a bowling, take your kids bowling. You know, what does that cost? I don't know, I don't have any young kids anymore.
Quick math on the adjustment to charge more for the swim team and reduce the cost of daily entry. We'll lose about $9,000 on daily entry and we'll generate about $1,050 on charging more for a swim team. We could still charge more for a swim team if the
Yeah.
board feels the
Just
swim
charge
team
more
will
for swim
carry
team
it.
and do $7 and see what happens.
Yeah, let's see what
with
happens.
your punch passes and stuff.
It might encourage more punch passes, because it'll take it back to, what, 6 if we buy the punch pass?
5.
5,
Makes it
oh, that's a
5.
heck of a deal. Oh, maybe we should.
You're just buying 10 at once, which
Yeah.
benefits the pool, because they don't always end up using all of them, right?
Yeah, because they're
Right.
printed,
Okay,
Yeah.
let's look at that.
That doesn't cost
Keep it
you
at
more.
7.
Keep it at 7, raise the swim team up,
So 135 on the swim team,
150.
150.
And then it really encourage the pool pass. If they're gonna complain about a $7 a day pass, it, encourage the punch card. It
Okay.
should be cheaper in the long run. Okay,
The swim team, they practice every day, right?
Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Are we going off the
I still think that's too
16,000
much
number,
less.
or are we going off the 4,000 that you said earlier?
Yeah, how many meets do the
What's our
swim
number
team?
we're shooting?
Sorry.
5.
We're
I
shooting
think
to
do 5
eliminate
weeks,
16,000 if we're
they
trying to
swim
break
3 days a
even.
week. I just don't think 150 is,
Okay, I wasn't sure because you
Well,
talked.
I don't think that's a lot to
salary
ask
there.
Okay,
for that
so-
much participation
Oh,
of your kid.
16,000 the gap.
Yeah, I'll wait for Fred to stop talking, I'll make another point. Sorry,
So,
Fred.
Okay, so
Yeah,
I was
you
just
didn't mean to
clarifying
interrupt.
that the 16,000 loss is what we're talking about, not like 4,000, because they talked about salary.
Right,
So-
right, we're talking about 16,000, but
That
it's
includes
better
Fred.
than what we learned the other day, which was we were running at a $30,000 loss. So when
That's
we
a
get
lot
that
better.
cut in half, that's gonna be an improvement.
Is that right?
This is a.
Or that number
I thought it
included
was
some
over
other
6.
stuff, didn't it?
That number was the number that included Brenda's salary after the board said, please include Brenda's salary.
Okay, so that one, it took it to 160 then, right?
Yeah.
And then we brought it in 130.
130.
Well, on this version, so last year Brenda spent a lot of her time specifically at the pool,
Mhm.
and we have scaled that back by about 30%. So last year, she spent about 850 hours at the pool. In this estimate, we're paying a manager less to spend more time at the pool to reduce Brenda's hours
Okay.
at the pool.
So I see your total cost is 150 to 52,000, so you were able to knock that down to 8,000, correct?
Correct.
From last year. Okay.
That's good.
So I get a question, on the yellow, is that a positive into the, so we took that away. She had a question if we want to do the shade awning.
Yeah, so that shade awning rental is included in the revenue projection. So if the board wants us to say, yep, go for it, that'll stay in there.
Is that net new?
Net new.
The only thing about
I
that,
think it's a great
Yeah,
idea.
go for it.
Stick a QR code on the table, you scan it and pay it,
but that means there's no shade at the pool.
who cares?
Hey, I'd pay the money for the shade.
Who's gonna,
I don't know,
so if somebody
it's the
just goes and
building.
sits there, are people running them off?
We could either block it off, we would rope it off so
That's gonna
nobody
be
goes
hard
in
work.
there.
Yeah, we'll get some velvet ropes and loop them, and then
Okay,
show your receipt.
I mean, you have like a manager there
Yeah.
most of the time,
All the
So
time.
which is Roxanne.
So if
Yeah,
someone,
somebody, yeah, if
If
she
it,
goes
if
there.
it were Roxanne, for example, she's got no problem going over and telling someone
No
like, you can pay or get up,
No problem.
so.
or a group could get together and rent that shade awning and then they could take it, right? It doesn't have to be one single person.
Right.
Be a group of kids renting it, or a group of
Well, like
parents.
Jason said, if they wanted to rent it, invite everybody to come sit in the shade with their kids.
Yeah,
Basically, you're saying somebody
So-
volunteer.
someone pay for it.
So is that $15 per hour?
Yes.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
just basically you're just sitting under a shade, an umbrella.
Okay, so right here it says, for Brenda, 650 hours, is what you're thinking, and then manager is 690. So for the pool altogether is the 690 plus 650, that's how many hours open you are altogether, or is she sharing
So,
it?
no, some of that 650 is planning time, for example, putting together the budget 6 months out from pool opening.
From now
Because that is still a cost to operating the pool, is hiring the lifeguards, training the lifeguards, ordering the chemicals, doing the programming, buying the lifeguard suits, all of that starting in January, her work time building into the operations of the pool.
Okay, so you want a manager there in addition to Brenda, not just Brenda running the pool.
Brenda,
What manager?
so the pool operations, depending on the day, will run longer than an 8-hour shift. So part of Brenda's time is accounted for in the planning session
In the
of
office?
leading up to in the office here. Part of it is accounted for, like somebody has to be here at 6 a.m. to open the pool, and somebody has to be here at 9 p.m. to run off the last sprinters. So obviously Brenda's not gonna work a 15-hour day, 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. So we're gonna have a pool manager that works the first half or the last half of the day, and
So the
then Brenda.
manager and Brenda are sharing the pool,
Correct,
right?
got it.
correct.
That is 690 hours, that is how much something is going on at the pool, 690 hours.
And with these,
Okay, well, I've got one more point, because Fred's trying to get out of here.
35 minutes in.
He's got 35 minutes, that's what we got. Okay, I got one more questions on your expenses. You have your chlorine and acid listed as 5,553. On your budget, it says 18,000.
yeah, we're trying to cut that number in half.
That's more than half.
Well, we also,
I mean,
remember, we also purchased at the end of the season last year, so we were going into the season with $5,000 worth of chlorine sitting.
Okay.
You got
sitting
an
at the
extra
pool.
pallet or something?
Yeah, we should
There'll be
always
less
look at
time
that,
there.
because
Well, I guess.
we should
Less
always
time
look at that
before nothing.
every year.
To do it.
So we've reduced the operating hours of the pool, we have a stockpile of chlorine already ready to go. We're looking we're gonna try to get away with just one more pallet of chlorine to close out the season. So we will essentially spend $10,000 on chemicals at the pool, because, like, 5,000 for the operation of the pool, 5,000 for having that ready to go in case there's a chlorine shortage and we need to start the year with a stockpile.
Yeah, we should always look at that.
So will you have
Of
any at
having
the end of
stockpile.
the season for next season?
Hope to.
That's what you're hoping?
Hope to. But at the end of the season, it may be one of those, we bring that to the park board and say,
We need to.
hey, we have $18,000 budgeted for chlorine, we spent $6,000, should we buy chlorine for 2027?
That makes sense.
If the board feels like, nope, we need to make sure that our belt stays tight, they say, nope, wait till 2027 money and go from there. So,
Okay.
so we're only accounting for what we expect to use, not for starting next season off
Yeah,
with
that
a
makes sense.
with a
We'll just have
surplus.
to think about that, though. Okay.
How are we gonna do this with our month-to-month budgeting?
So, I'm glad you asked how we're gonna do that with our month-to-month budgeting. Ideally, what we will do is Brenda and I will sit down and we will say, okay, so we know that we need to have lifeguards hired by March 31st, so we can start training in April, so that if half our lifeguards fail the first time, we've got time to get them in again. So knowing that we need to have all of our staff hired, we know that we're gonna need to provide suits in March. So we're gonna say, okay, well, we're gonna hire 30 lifeguards, we're gonna have 30 suits that we're gonna need to buy. And we're going to try to parcel that out based on expenses that we forecast for those months, but we're gonna start at the end of the year and work backwards on that timeline.
Over the course of a year, or
At the
during
end of the
specific-
pool season. So for the pool program specifically, we will start at the end of pool season, we will work back, putting those expenses into the month-to-month timeline.
Okay.
And we're gonna do that with each of our programs, so that when March rolls around, we know that we're gonna spend, made up numbers here, $1 million on soccer balls,
Yeah.
$1 million on swimsuits, so that we can have that ready to go, so that the board can see it and take a look at it.
Okay, everybody satisfied with the pool thing, because I know pretty much it's to move on. Someone's gonna take minutes if he leaves.
So what, I think it's about 15,000.
We got a lot of stuff to cover here.
I know, we're not gonna
If we
probably
do
get all
those
the
changes.
guys.
Get to it all.
So-
Keep moving.
Yeah.
Eric asked, that leaves us 15,000 in the negative. This item number 7 on the agenda is discussing metrics for programs, cost recovery levels. I've noted on here that the cost recovery goal that I would like to adopt for the pool as being it is a mixed benefit, so it's a community benefit and it's an individual benefit. I'd like to set that cost recovery goal at 85%. Part of it is a service to the community, part of it is generating revenue. That $16,000 loss is 89% cost recovery, so obviously we still have to discuss those cost recovery goals, but I put that in there because I knew we were going to talk about those, so.
Does the Board of Alders have to approve, do they get to this level of detail? Do they approve that, or?
My understanding is the park board approves and directs me to present to the board, so if,
So yes, at some point then?
yes, at some point,
They-
I believe that's.
They definitely want our recommendations.
They just want,
okay if
they're not
we
looking for these
present-
details, they just want the total number.
They have to approve it.
I'm sorry,
They're okay if we present a negative number to them.
I
That's
don't
kind of
know,
what I was.
I don't know if they're okay with that.
They're
I guess when we present that based on the recommendations of the board will say yay or nay, and.
Well, last
that will
time,
give us
last time we all
information.
talked, it sounds like they weren't definitive about not giving us a transfer. It was about do the best we can, and then at the end, we'll see what we end up with.
I think
That's
it's,
kind of the feeling I got too.
Mhm.
was
and have a
not very
goal in
clear.
mind, are we reaching that goal, that target in mind, which
It is.
sounds like the 85% is kind of what you're suggesting.
For this particular program, yes.
Plus also if you show that, how much we were able to cut. Say, we thought it was $30,000, and we cut that in half. That's gonna be an improvement that they're gonna be happy about. Even if we don't hit zero.
Well, and then the next year, we can focus on it again.
Next year, we'll focus on it again and see what we can do to improve.
Yep.
The other thing I was gonna mention too, you talked about a swim team, it's kind of like a club. Kids play club ball, how much does that cost you?
Thousands.
Thousands for, how many games?
Oh, like 6 games in the season, you pay thousands.
Six tournaments with maybe multiple games during the tournament for $1,500, $2,000, plus your travel fees?
Yeah, you pay everything, you pay your own, get there, hotels. I just think 150 isn't asking a lot for what you guys provide for our swim team. I think it's a good program and good coaching, and the kids love it, so.
I think you have a better pulse on it than a lot of us.
With what you do, with the number of meets they participate in, the level they participate, I don't think you're gonna have a lot of pushback on that, but I may be wrong. Anyone I know that does swim team, they rave about Willard swim team, and it's the best, and it's, so.
Okay, so do we want to approve this, or do we want to look at this, and study it until next
Does
week
it
and
need
go
approval?
over?
I
We
think,
have another question, we can go over it next week, or next meeting.
I mean, we can go over things as many times as you would like. I think that we, for marketing purposes, for communication purposes, everything we do, we need to be moving quick on because 2026 has started. So
Okay.
Thank you.
if the park board can say, we tentatively approve this with the changes discussed, and say, Jason, please present this to the board as presented to the park board, that will give me an actionable item that I can do at
And
the
then they
next.
can come in and nitpick it a little bit more if they so choose.
Good.
I make a motion to approve as, with the changes.
All our little changes.
I'll second.
Burke has a second.
Okay,
And a comment about swim team. Swim team, I have 175 hours of volunteers that I get from the swim team.
that's
It
very
is
good.
awesome. They're great parents.
I have a first and a second.
Which is kind of like club, you show
Yeah.
up and you volunteer and you do it. That's why I think you guys are operating a club level swim team and charging what I think is a very reasonable price for it, so.
Okay, all in favor of the changes?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, let's move on. We got 45 minutes with Craig. No, I'm just kidding. Hey, I'm just moving them along. I'm just trying to move them along. Concession. This one shouldn't take too long.
Okay, concessions, that is this black folder at the top page. It is 2 pages, front and back.
Okay.
The top half of this page, or 1 page front and back. The top of this is the 2025 pricing, and then it is a little bit misleading because it says 2025 pricing, proposed 2026. That proposed 2026 is that middle column. Willard's 2025 pricing was the left column. Springfield has already approved their 2026 pricing for their concession stands, and that's what you see directly next to that. Nixa, you can see, was right in line with Willard Parks in 2026 and 2025. And then Allison Sportstown is the far right, and they're reasonable on everything except pizza and nachos.
I don't think these places are quite right, but everybody usually charges more for the Powerade than they do for regular soda. Normally. Is it just making it simple across the board?
It makes it simple across the board, and the cost to us is the same for Powerade and soda.
The school charges the same for it too, and it's
So we're just
$3.
matching Springfield.
School's $3.
School's $3.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're just,
26 proposed is just matching Springfield.
26 proposed is just to match
I
Springfield's.
think that's great.
Which also
Okay,
matches
so-
Sportstown, is that what you're saying?
Uh, Most of it matches Sportstown. The $9 for a pizza is,
Yeah, that's crazy.
I mean, it deters people from ordering pizza. But if you sell one pizza, you essentially.
$7 for a pretzel.
The price is $7 for a pretzel.
So,
Nachos are $6. Can you
yeah.
believe that? Okay.
so our proposal is just to mirror Springfield's concession pricing.
Hard to argue with that.
And have you figured out what
Yeah,
the
but,
profit level is gonna be on this?
I mean,
The bottom half is the profit level at last year's
There
prices.
it is, okay. Mhm.
So 73%, 8%, 50%, 91%. You can see the margins there for last year's level, so those are gonna go up.
so you wanna charge $3 a slice of pizza?
No, they're personal pizzas, it's a
Personal
whole,
pizzas?
whole little pizza.
$3?
Should be more.
Should be way more than that.
It's this big.
I don't care, it should be way.
How big is it?
It's just this, it's a Sam's Club where you can get, 12 in a box.
I mean, it's an actual hot item. The hot item that, it's automatically right off the bat, your brain says, oh, I'm gonna pay more for that, for sure.
Do we ever run,
Anything hot, because it's gotta get warmed up, I mean, there's time, the whole thing. I mean, if you go to Walmart and you look at their hot food there, that's gonna be way more than if you go over to the cold thing and pick up just the cold one.
Well,
It's way
2026
more.
says it's not offered.
It's
Or-
not changing the price.
or That's just no change in the price.
How much money are we talking here? Like,
Oh, no, it is.
how many pizzas do you really sell?
you know,
No,
So how much does that pizza cost
If
us?
it's $20, we're gonna change it.
How much does a pizza cost us? It costs us $1.24.
cost us $1.24, so we're doubling.
Pretzels cost us $1.24.
I don't,
Nachos are 40 cents, plus cheese, right? Pretzels are $1.24.
You sell the pizzas at every
Yeah,
concession
just at
stand,
the pool.
just,
Only at the pool.
Only the pool. Okay.
so it's only been
And-
sold for
and-
like 2 months out of the year anyway.
How much waste do we have?
Those are made to order, so
No.
So there is no
No
waste.
waste.
no waste.
So there's nothing on this here that we get to throw away at the end of the year?
No.
Okay, because,
Popcorn.
the popcorn's not popped, is it? Don't you pop your own
well,
popcorn?
stuff that
Yeah, we
expires.
pop our own popcorn, but at the end of the night,
If it's
We don't
popped, he
sell
Oh,
throws
yeah,
it.
but that's such a moneymaker.
right.
There's such a moneymaker on popcorn.
But everything else is cooked to order.
So,
The pretzels are pre-cooked and in a warmer until the last hour, and then when we sell out, we sell out. We don't do more pretzels after the final hour.
and do you just count them down if you still have 1 or 2 left?
Yes.
I know I've eaten a few cold hot dogs at the high school before. And they're
And that's
not
the
good,
two-
they are not good cold.
To your point, the margin on those is the lowest of a lot of them, 58, 59% compared to between 76 and 90. So I mean, it's
So
definitely something
$5.
that could be increased and our numbers would be better.
Yeah, to me, they're just,
My
anything
concern
hot
is-
is way too, this is,
What,
all of it's way too low.
What would you like to see pizza price at?
I'd like it to see it like, where you go, dang, all right, I'll take one,
What's
you
the
know,
number? I think
like
that's what he is.
7.
Oh, no, they're too small.
No.
I mean, because we get the little
Okay,
personal size pizza at Allison's are like $9.
okay,
And I will
here's
drive,
the
I will
thing.
drive to go get some.
Right, here's the thing, we are thinking about what we want, what we like, how we would like to see it, instead of selling it.
I'm trying to put myself in the mind of, like, when I was at the soccer field and I went up and bought a pretzel, how much would I pay? And I think for me,
But
$3.
this isn't about how much you would pay, because that, I
No,
realize
but I'm
that, I
saying
would
we're-
not want to buy, I wouldn't buy a pretzel for more than $3.
But they're the same price.
I would not do that, I
The
personally
pretzel
would
and
not
the
do
pizza are
that.
the same cost. so-
However, if I was there all day, and I knew that, dinner was a while away, and I had no choice but to buy a pretzel for $7 to get me through or get my child through. I would do it.
So, on the pretzel and the pizza, I'm gonna, so $5 is a nice round number, everybody's got a 5. $5 is, will that work?
$5 is better than 3.
I don't think you can go more than 5. Didn't you say they're little? They're not even like,
It's
I don't
one
think we can
piece,
go
it's
with
like a
that.
one slice.
I would-
That's
I
what
would-
pizza.
How many we sell?
Or do we want to be?
How much time we spend on this and we're not selling that many?
Yeah, how many are we
we-
selling?
We sell quite a few.
We sell a lot at $3 a piece.
what if you just did $5
You-
I would
all
do the
of
pretzel
those hot
for,
items?
Or why don't we just take
Buy
all the
out for
hot
next
foods?
year, and if it ends up that we don't sell as many, I mean, it's a supply and demand kind of.
or you just change it
cost
mid-season, you
situation.
can always change it if
We
it
can
doesn't
always
work.
adjust it.
I mean,
Or
concessions
Battery up, battery
isn't
down.
designed to make money, it's designed to,
Concessions, we have to make money.
well, I mean,
Service.
I realize
It's-
that,
It's
but.
for service, we're at the service.
Right, it's just
Right,
a
right.
service, and
Convenience.
it's not necessarily thought of as, what would you pay and all this stuff.
Okay.
It's a convenience, it's just like you go to Walmart, big Walmart, you're gonna pay less than if you go to the neighborhood Walmart, you're gonna pay more.
Mhm.
And it's just a convenience.
Right, okay, so let's look at it this way. You're raising the prices up on the pretzels and nachos from $3 to $4.50. Why don't we just take all those 4 hot items and raise them to $4? And that'll be consistent, all the hot items are 4.
I say 5.
I think 5 makes it an easier number, less change to deal with. If we can do, if 5 is acceptable, I'm happy to throw 5 on there and we'll just monitor how, if our volume of sales goes down in a proportionate number that doesn't generate extra revenue, we can.
What if you did 5 for the 3, but leave hot dogs at $3? Because you're already making, hot dogs is like at 87%. Then you have one hot item that's under $5 if
Yeah.
a kid only has $4 at the pool. You know what I mean? Then you have one hot thing
Or
that's
a
an
family
option
that
for
has
somebody.
6 kids and.
Yeah,
We sold 694 pizzas last summer.
so,
We made $2,000 in the pizza.
yeah, so if you raise those, but maybe, that's just my suggestion, maybe just leave one of them, which hot dog seems to be the one
Yeah,
that
like that.
Oh,
you're
okay.
making money off of, or a higher percentage, and just leave that one at $3 for people
In
who,
other words, there's a delicious option and a cheap option.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Valerie
Okay,
doesn't
so
agree.
what do you guys want to do on that?
I don't care.
I mean, I get your point. If it was me personally, I'm on it. I'd buy a hot dog.
$3
I
for a
get it,
pretzel.
but,
Go ahead.
honestly, I think they should all be 5.
If it's really, what do they charge at
I'm good.
the school for hot dogs? Of course, they have those Nathans, are expensive dogs.
The hot dogs at the school are the big ones, and they're still not $5, they're maybe 4.
Yeah, maybe
Or-
4.
They're still the cheapest of all, like, they're cheaper than a pretzel and cheaper than nachos for hot dogs. Because all you get is a hot dog.
I know, but it's a good hot dog.
It is a good
It's
hot
an more expensive hot dog, so what kind of hot dogs are we doing? Are they just cheap?
Whatever's the cheapest is.
Whatever the cheapest is, so we.
Cheapest all beef hot dog.
cheap, I like cheap hot dogs, so we're gonna have to keep that at
What
least
about like the
three.
condiments? Do you add in the mustard and ketchup? Do you give
We
that?
usually, yeah,
Or
we
is it
usually go
just-
through a bottle every summer, it's not, yeah, they don't, kids
Yeah,
don't
but-
use it that much.
Care to ask a crazy question since we're trying to think outside the box. So I'm thinking back to when I went to a Hillcrest game, and I think the boosters actually were in full control of the building, cost, the prices, the operations, the volunteers. Have we ever considered doing something like that? Because we can eliminate staff hours, we can offload the responsibility, we can help them where they need to be helped, and they can raise money for whatever cause they have.
So Brenda and I discussed that specifically at the pool. There's, I think, 3 or 4 different pool management companies where basically they pay you a fee for control of your pool. They set the price, they do the trainings, they run the operations. It's beneficial for the companies that do it.
Well, but that's the whole, but what I'm referring to is just the concession stand.
Oh, just like concessions,
Yeah,
like,
so have like the Willard booster, whatever, you know, have the control of that.
The
For
Boy
a
Scouts
year,
or something
a year
like
trial or
that,
something
yeah.
like that. We don't have the cost, we don't have to worry about things expiring, we don't have to worry about a lot of the stuff, and they get to raise money for their cause.
Right.
You know, they determine the cost, so if it's too expensive, it's on them.
Mhm.
And like you guys said, it's really just a service. We're not trying to make money, it's a service we're
Right.
providing.
No, we're trying to make money here.
So
This
what
could-
are your thoughts on that? Is that something we should offer?
It's something food for thought. For right now, you know, this, according to this, our concession expenses are 22,000 and we're reining in 37. I wanna see that 22,000 at 44.
Yeah.
Your revenue, so it's a revenue maker for us, is the way I look at it. If I
I
wanna-
want to just throw in big picture, even if it's 44, what percentage of the overall income for parks is that? It's teeny tiny.
but
Teeny
it is-
tiny.
it's-
Teeny tiny.
How much, you mean
I'm
after what?
not saying don't do it, I'm just saying,
Yeah,
we're arguing about $1 here and $1 there
I
for
agree.
something that's
Let's-
teeny tiny.
Let's settle this hot foods thing, guys, so we can move on. I agree with hot dogs need to be 3, maybe we can hit a halfway medium by raising pieces up to 4.5 along with what the other 2 are.
this is just a logistical thing, 4.5 results in 2 quarters that we've got to keep track of and run to the bank to make change on. If we could raise it to a whole number on those.
Well, a
that
lot
would
of
be-
things are at 250 or 350.
The candies, but we raised the sodas from 2, skip right past 250 to go to 3 to avoid the quarters on that, but,
Still gonna have to deal with quarters.
So we just do the 3 and 5.
Do 3 and 5, 3 for the hot dog, 5 for the other ones.
You're gonna have, you know, down here at Pickles, 2 and 25, so you're gonna have to deal with quarters. So would that make you happy, put pizzas at 450, right along with the other hot
All at
dogs?
an even number.
Let's just do 5. I vote for 5.
What do you guys wanna do?
3 and 5, that one sounds,
I'll support 5.
What now? I'm
So I
sorry,
like 3 and 5.
3 and 5, I don't really care myself, so I guess you guys can figure that out once we.
You do care, you want to make money, so you want us to do 5. 5 gives you 50 cents more on everything.
Okay, we'll do the
3
pizzas
and
at
5.
5, and we'll let them figure it out, if that's gonna be.
If you get a month into the season and no one's buying the
No
hot
one's
food, we
gonna buy
can
it.
readdress it, right?
Then you take it back to
You wanna
450
make
or put them on sale.
okay, so.
Start bringing all of us little pizzas to these meetings.
So what I'm hearing, just to make clear, make sure that I know what has been or will be motioned, is the 2026 or proposed pricing, the same with the amendment of raising hot foods to $5 with the exception of a hot dog being $3.
We're moving pizzas up to 5 too, and nachos
Yes.
to 5? Okay,
So pretzel 5, hot dog 3, pizza 5, nachos 5.
and then the new proposed 2026, raising them from $2 to $3 on the sodas, candies up to $2.50 or $3.50 for cotton candy.
Yeah.
Popcorn. Now, you also can make a deal on that if you wanted. Do you have a deal price, like if you had, buy a hot dog, pretzel, and a soda?
Would you like me to add a combo?
Why don't you add a combo to that?
What amount discount would you like? Would it be 50 cents
No.
or $1?
Yeah, something like that.
And what would be a drink and a?
Which
and a
would you-
drink?
Which
or a chip?
A chip, a pretzel, and a soda, make a combo.
A
And
chip,
use
a
the
hot
dollar?
food,
So
a chip, a hot
soda.
food, and a chip, a hot food, and a soda for a combo.
Just have like a simple combo, like a hot dog, chip, and a drink or something.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, it's hot dog.
Not include pretzel and pizza.
No, just a hot dog.
Okay, chip, hot dog, soda for,
How much it is it altogether?
Yeah, but if you do that, if you use the hot dog on it and you do the combo thing and you minus $1, then you're losing $1. If you do that with the pizza, nachos, and pretzel, you have the extra $1 to play with because you just bumped it to 5.
Is there a value?
I don't think you do a combo. That's my vote. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't like the
combo.
combo.
There's no value to us.
It doesn't.
Okay, then let's not do a combo.
At least this time.
Hey, I'm with Cassie, listen,
I'm just saying of all the times I've worked the Willard concessions, no one buys, they don't do the combo. They want to
Okay.
pick their own stuff.
that's fine by me.
And it just is one more thing you have to teach staff, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
Sure.
Do you need us to approve the pricing?
I would think so. Okay, is that, only thing we're changing on this is the pretzels, or the hot feeds?
correct.
And we're agreeing with the proposed 2026 prices, right?
Yes.
Okay, do I hear a motion for approval?
I'll make a motion.
Fred made the motion, is there a second?
I'll second.
Vanessa second, all in favor?
All right.
All opposed? Let's move on.
Okay, the Nixa resident slash member policy, in your packet you have a 2-page document that is got some highlights on it. It is a couple of emails back and forth between me and the director and the assistant director of Nixa Parks and Rec. I know that they have a resident, non-resident price package and a member, non-member price package. The highlighted sections, it's this one.
The one with the yellow highlights on
Excuse me.
it. Okay, not the Nixon Parks and Rec.
Right,
Which one are, this one here?
this one.
Okay.
The highlighted sections are really the important part, starting on page 1. The not resident, non-resident rates are not a revenue generator overall. And the rationale is, it's like, yes, you make a little bit extra per program on revenue for your non-residents playing your sports, but ultimately you charge them more, you penalize them for using your program. If they move to a program that they don't get penalized to participate in. The member and non-member rate, at least in Nixa, the member, non-member rate for belonging to the rec center there overrides resident, non-resident, so it tackles both of those at once. It's much easier for us to track because of Willard has 5 zip codes. It has water bills that are in the county. It has our property tax is generated only by city residents, but we have members of the Willard community that are across the board. You know, we've got almost all the way to Bolivar, we've got all the way into Springfield that are Willard members. So doing the resident, non-resident is super challenging from a logistical perspective, because if you go to Willard schools, you assume you're a Willard resident, but you're not necessarily. So I would recommend that we consider a resident or a member and non-member price. So basically, if you join the rec center with a family membership, you receive a discount. If you don't, you don't. And the way I would propose moving forward with that in 2026 is we've set our fees for 2026 for our pricing. Add a non-member price that is above that. So for example, $50 to play soccer. If you're a member, if you're a non-member, it's $65 to play soccer. You can join the rec center, bumps it back down to $50 to play soccer.
I think that's great.
I like it,
So that-
encourage more membership.
So that works well if your kid really plays more than one sport.
If your kid plays more than one sport, it's a compounding discount. If it also increases use of the rec center, it gets more people in, gets more people seeing the programs, seeing the other programs. It gives us an opportunity to do some in-house advertising. They have a membership already. We have a fitness center. We have a basketball court. We've got some of those amenities. if they're members already, because it was to save $15 playing soccer, they come into the building, they see the other things we've got going, it gives us an opportunity to generate more revenue. Right now, we're not capturing any revenue from our non-members beyond the registration, so there's really no downside. If they're paying $50 now as a non-member, there is, there's no gain there for us if they buy a membership to be a member to get the discount.
Right.
So how much is the membership?
The family membership is $30 a month.
A month?
Make it at 35.
Okay, so if my kid's gonna play ball and they're gonna play June and July, I gotta buy $60 worth of,
You buy a membership for $60, then your fee drops.
Your fee drops from
$30.
Your fee drops $30. If you have one kid, it doesn't make any sense. If you've got 2 kids, you save that $60. If you've got 3 kids, you're coming out ahead.
so if baseball lasts 2 months, I gotta pay 2 months worth of memberships, right?
Correct.
That's the question, that would be another
Yeah.
thing
Because,
that we would talk about. If they
Correct.
need to be signed for a year-long auto draft, pay just the first month of the sport, or pay for the whole month, upfront for the whole months of the sport.
So that's,
Or like a 3-month membership or 6-month or something like that.
Right.
so now you worked for the Y for many years. Why, and what is a Y membership? Before you have to pay before you even get any kind of discount.
Right, it's like 50 for an individual, 70 something for a family, yeah. And it's a contract year.
It's a contract year, so we're not looking at a contract year though.
No, we haven't talked about that yet.
I think it sounds like a good idea unless we're concerned it would drive people off.
Well, they can still pay the same way they were,
But
it's just,
if it's not, then yeah, it seems like it would
plus maybe the
encourage
benefit of the rec
membership.
center, if they want to.
It's gonna encourage membership.
so does baseball sound like it's less expensive? Like, are you gonna say, okay, you can join the team for $50 and everyone's going, $50, wow, that's awesome. But you gotta join over there. If you don't join, if you're not a member, then baseball's $100.
65.
Is that how, okay.
Yeah, it's
I don't
15.
think it's different. I think that's great. I don't
Yeah.
think,
$50.
$15, you'll
With
either
the
want to.
membership, it's $50, without it's 65.
And if you don't want to buy the membership, it's 60, you save $15 by not getting the membership. Where it adds value is that second kid, that third
Yeah,
kid, if you've
or
got 4
multiple
kids.
sports.
Right.
Or
Or
multiple
multiple
sports.
sports.
So we have a membership now, don't
We do.
we? But it doesn't include these sports.
We do not have a member, non-member rate for sports registrations.
I do think you would want to have a time on it, like a 3-month or
Yeah, I
something
think,
like that.
yeah, they sign up for, if they do it, yeah, I think you need to say at least 3 months, if not 6 months. Like, you don't want to just let them pay 1 month and walk
Because that
away.
would happen.
Oh, like try to take advantage of it for just 1 month. or
Right.
something.
Right, so what do you think? 3 months, 6 months?
Which,
Let's do 3.
I mean, most
3.
sports are 2-ish
The length of the
months,
sport.
so I would say
What
3
is that?
months,
Yeah,
yeah,
3
and just have them
sadly,
pay.
most people, if they get on a subscription, they're paying it, and then they use it for years and years and
Huh.
years.
Right, that's what
Perfect.
Maybe that's okay.
Just get them locked into that
That's
auto
okay.
draft.
Auto draft.
But I would say
If they don't look at their bank accounts, their problem,
Yeah.
okay?
It's me for a lot of that.
Okay, so we're gonna go that way, is that what we wanna do, guys?
3 months minimum,
I think,
Okay,
Does that sound good? Does
that sounds good to me.
yeah.
Okay, anything else on that?
and just the member, non-member, I think you're right about resident, you'll get into a lot of trouble with that.
Mm-hmm.
And what was the other on the first day? I agree, I think. Yeah, we talked about that, anyway.
Do we need a motion to,
You want us to approve that?
Yep.
Yes, please.
Yes, I think we do. Okay, is there a motion to make that adjustment?
I'll make that motion.
Okay, Rick makes
I'll
that
second it.
motion. Eric seconds it, all in favor?
all right,
All opposed? Okay, let's move on.
I know we already said this, but it'd be nice to see the numbers too, like how much this is,
Yes,
the difference would be.
bring that to us too, what you, how that's gonna work out, since we don't have those in front of us.
Okay. One thing I will caution, it will add some challenge because we're just guessing at that. Once we put it in place, we get some numbers on the backside, we'll be able to provide concrete numbers, but like anticipating what percentage of people
Yeah.
would rather join
Yeah,
than stay.
You can do the anticipation, and then, you know, as it goes along, you can update it and see how close you get to that.
Okay.
So, and at least we can look at seeing how much more income we'll get from that, or an estimate income,
Okay.
okay?
Okay. Next up is
Merits, metrics for programs, is that?
metrics for programs. So, there are 2 pages. The NICSA Parks and Recreation Fiscal Business Plan, we're not gonna spend a lot of time in that because it's very dense and we don't really have time to go over
So
it.
I would say this is homework?
That's homework.
Okay, homework first, okay.
These 2, the pyramid chart and there's a table, a little table in the top right corner.
Oh, here,
It's not, it's
Pyramid
not,
stapled to the back.
it's,
see, okay, there we go, got it.
and then you,
Oh, on the back of that one.
Yeah.
and then you,
Last page.
And then you add this page with.
About this one.
Add this
we'll get to
to-
that in a second. But we're gonna, and then this little table in the top right,
Okay, so these go together.
top right.
Okay, so this is homework, come back at the next meeting,
Okay.
we'll discuss this on the agenda for next meeting,
Oh,
Yes.
here it is.
okay?
So looking at the cost recovery pyramid, we have 5 levels of cost recovery. Community benefit, those are your community special events, public health initiatives, and moving up into special events, charity events. Those we're not trying to get a lot of revenue recouped. Those are largely tax funded. You know, when you're thinking about this in a big picture, one of the examples, that's things like Trunk or Treat, Freedom Fest, Christmas on the Frisco. Like those are things that are just community givebacks. Charity events, those are things where we are hosting an event. We're not the beneficiary of it, but we're letting it happen in our park. We're just trying to cover the cost of it. Moving into the individual/community benefit, as I mentioned before, that's like the pool. Those are your summer camp programs, your rec leagues. Those are partial cost recoveries. Moving into mostly individual benefit, there you're wanting to be break even or greater, and on the very top, that's your concessions, your memberships, your rentals. Those are going to be profit centers. So like 125% cost recovery is a good target for that. So the little tiny chart in the top left page, that kind of tells you where these things, what level we should be trying to target for cost recovery for these projects and these programs. Fred held up the narrative here. That is your front and back page. It's called Identifying Program Placement on the Cost Recovery Pyramid. So what you're looking at with those are the Barry Dunn style pyramid, which is this guy. This is the Barry Dunn pyramid. And then Government Finance Officers Association guidelines and National Parks and Recreation Association benchmarking. So that's where that chart comes from, is those 3 things. So what I would like to know from this board is, do you feel like those national benchmarking levels are appropriate for our community when it comes to what is a primarily community benefit? Should we be aiming for 20% cost recovery? The community individual balance benefit, the 20 to 50 and the 50 to 70. The individual and community benefit, like the mostly individual benefit, and the enterprise benefit. Are those cost recovery targets appropriate? And then identifying those, making sure that we know which programs fall into each of these categories, which programs belong on the bottom of the pyramid, which programs belong on the top of the pyramid, so that we can in-house know what our cost recovery goals are for each program. So that was a lot in a short amount of time, but what I would like to have from you guys is to know if these, if we're content with putting them on the pyramid with the national benchmarking levels, or if we want to kind of go haywire and just say, well, yes to this, no to this, yes to this, no to this. We think this program should be moved up or down in the cost recovery pyramid.
Would it be appropriate to see our stuff laid out and what you think, what category they would fall into?
So that is, part of what is this narrative page, is where I think a lot of our programs are. So, youth sports leagues,
Where's these sports leagues on this?
community benefit with some individual benefit. It's, the
down
second,
here.
second
Okay.
heading.
Got it.
Youth sports leagues, youth instructional programs, inclusive recreation programs, swim lessons and community camps. Like, typical cost recovery is 20 to 50%. That is based on, like I said, nationwide benchmarking, the Government Finance Officers Association guidance. So.
Which means they lose money.
They lose money, yes,
Which
Like a bunch.
yes.
But I feel like ours perform better than
Ours
yours.
perform better
I
than
think
this.
so.
So why don't we,
But this is homework, right, to think about.
This is how.
Well, the question, the Board of Alders would like to know what our metrics are, and my staff are in the middle of program planning for the year, and they need to know what metrics they need to be targeting, so what programs are an obvious no-go, because there's no way they're gonna meet those cost recovery guidelines, or are yeah, we think we can squeak this by.
I
For
think
example,
this by itself, it requires some, couple hours worth of discussing.
I think,
I just don't know, I have no clue.
What is ours right now? I think that's what I need to know.
so, like, for example, the pool, is for 2026, we've got it at a 89% cost recovery.
And that is
And is, when we throw the pool into this pyramid, we've got it maybe in the community benefit with some individual benefit, or if it is a park or a trail, it is in the bottom area of benefit, which is 0 to 20% cost recovery. Obviously, we want to overachieve as much as possible, especially given our situation. We want to be overachieving. So, like, I'm not asking this board to say, like, Jason, don't worry about it. As long as you get 20% cost recovery at the pool, we're happy. I'm not asking for that. I'm just asking, like, for a metric, if we can shoot for, at the pool, if we can shoot for 80% cost recovery. For camp, if we can shoot for 80% cost recovery. I'm happy to move everything up into that, try to move everything up into that individual and community benefit level where we're looking at trying to get 50 to 70% cost recovery, and then making that the absolute minimum for our cost recovery goals. Like, if we have a program that's not making at least 70% cost recovery, we need to really evaluate it critically and move on with it.
So right now, could you name a program that's not hitting that?
We don't have any programs that aren't hitting with a 70% cost recovery.
Then we need
So-
to raise that
So I
to
guess what's,
80 or so. 80,
yeah, what if we
90.
pushed everything up 5 or 10%, said, okay, let's,
yeah,
and where does that put us? Is that,
If we're moving everything up to 90% cost recovery, about 75% of our programs are in a cost recovery frame of 85 to 90%.
so we're,
So what program performs the worst right now? I think maybe that's a different way to think about it.
So, in terms of cost recovery,
Yeah.
our single day childcare, like, there's no school on Monday. So a single day childcare program has the lowest cost recovery.
Why?
Because people don't sign up for it.
Because it's staff, it takes staff.
And so we've canceled those for this year. We're not doing any single day. So no teacher work days, no.
so that's gone.
So that's gone?
So that's gone. Like,
Okay.
we've already eliminated that one because it doesn't meet our threshold of cost recovery goals.
So then what's the next one? Would you, I know,
So,
you might not know exactly.
Yeah, I agree.
the bulk of our sports
That's kind of
programs.
the way I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, the bulk of our sports programs are in that 75 to 85% cost recovery. They're near the bottom. The pool, last year the pool,
Okay, so we'll go step by step. So why can't we recover 100% of our sports? Why? What's the barrier?
The barrier is twofold. The barrier is number of participants, and the barrier is community value perception. So, which is also contributes to the number of participants. So,
Also
well,
pricing,
it costs-
also pricing or
the
something.
pricing- the pricing is right.
Pricing is the other thing
You
too.
can't overprice it compared to
So-
other communities.
so we can set the price for any program
Can't,
for
that's what I
every
heard.
one. We have that authority. We also have to be aware that everything is a balance act. These benchmarks exist because these are what is generally acceptable as already paid for by taxes. So program fees on top of that, of course, we add those to help cover the cost. Many organizations don't have fees, but they do have other systems. So Wes the other night mentioned Fredonia, the community we came from in Kansas. This year, they're not charging anyone anything for any of their sports programs in 2026. I have emailed them to find out
Why?
how.
Yeah, why?
Not why, but
Yeah.
how,
Yeah.
because that's not a reality for us. Obviously, we have to.
Right now, maybe someday.
Yeah, we just need a real wealthy donor.
So
I
after
mean,
sports, you said after sports, it's next, it's maybe the pool.
The pool's, I mean, everything is right there in that 70% cost recovery.
So it's all kind of in the same boat.
How do we budget for that? If it's a 70% cost recovery? Because we're looking at a number that we have to, minus, plus. How do we budget for that?
So how do we budget for,
Recovering the 75% of the program.
there is an assumption that people who pay taxes in the community have paid for these services already. So when we budget for those, ideally, this community would have strong adult program participation that are in those upper tiers of cost recovery where they're generating revenue. Most parks and recreation systems are not break-even operations.
The only reason I ask is because if we're looking at it as, say, I'll just use an example, 100%, right?
Right.
That's easy to balance in a budget. You say, does the program cover its cost? And that's easy on a month-to-month.
Right.
But when you get into that, recovering a percent, I don't know what that looks like on a spreadsheet.
Right. So
75% of the total, so.
So I'm almost like, for ease of use, I'm tempted to say any program has to be 100%. And if we don't meet 100%, that's fine, we don't, because everything's a projection anyway.
Right, so under that idea of operation, we currently have no programs that are 100% cost recovery that are youth programs.
What
The
programs are, sorry, what programs are?
The fitness center is 100% cost recovery plus.
So the best performers.
The best
fitness-
performers.
The best performers are like the fitness center.
Yeah, and the best performers offset the cost of the lower performers to help balance the budget, but ultimately, it's the question of the board needs to say, listen, we want to make sure children have these activities, or they say, listen, only the rich kids have these activities, or they say, if we can't do it at 100%, nobody has these activities. And
Sorry, I don't mean to keep interrupting because we keep just kind of, feel like I'm kind of letting this flow. So what's your next program below that?
although,
Below the fitness center? I mean, what's up there at the top that could be improved on to get to 100% or 110% or 120%, which would make it some of that 80%?
okay, so we don't have a lot of those programs. They don't perform well, so we cancel them. Because, for example, we may say, soccer's gonna lose, $700 this season. Is $700 an acceptable loss to make sure that 200 kids have an opportunity to play soccer? Yes. That's a question. But we won't say, listen, we're gonna run an adult softball league, we're gonna lose $600 on this adult softball league, is that an acceptable loss? No, that is an adult program, adults can take their business elsewhere, children don't get to make that decision.
That's true. So after the exercise center, what is next down? That makes 100%,
Or 90%.
or 90%, or 110%? I mean, is the
The
gym
fitness,
the only
so
thing that makes any money?
What's our next best performer?
the next
yes.
best performer would be the aquatic center, and then after that
The
are the
aquatic
youth
center,
programs.
I mean, the pool that we lose so much money on, well, it's not that,
And after that, what?
But as a percentage.
Youth programs.
youth programs.
Yeah.
So the aquatic center is projected at 90%, almost 90%
Where
cost
do you
recovery.
put that money? Because I don't recall ever seeing like a line item that says the gym, or.
Yeah, there is, yeah, there is.
in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's in there?
It's like the third one down from the top, fitness center.
From the big, this big one?
Facility.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
So
fitness.
aquatic center 90%, youth programs is
Okay.
50 to 60.
Yeah, depending on, across the board, our sports programs are pretty close to 90% cost recovery.
Oh, okay, so that's sports included.
Yeah, that's soccer, baseball.
Okay, so youth
Basketball.
programs, you mean sports.
Yeah.
So with this new membership thing, you think maybe going that way, you might be able to get it up to 100%, maybe? Oh, yeah, right, Brenda, right? I mean, get it up to, if it's at 80%, 85%, you know, that's what we're looking, to try to get it up a little bit without gouging the people and still have the supports for the kids. Yeah, I'm just saying that's our goal, is having the membership, is getting more money in,
The
right?
goal of the membership is twofold. For the member and non-member rates, it has the potential to increase the revenue in sports for people who are like, I have one kid, it's not worth it to join the gym for 2 months to have my kid get a $15 discount on soccer. That will increase the revenue generated by that particular sport, multiplied times the number of people who make that decision. The number of people who don't make that decision doesn't change the cost recovery for that particular sport, but it moves the 115% cost recovery from the fitness center up to 122% cost recovery, which helps offset
The other ones down
the
below.
other ones down below.
Very
You
good.
can't see, it's not a straight line, it's a,
It's
Yeah.
not a straight line, it's a sine wave,
Right,
where we're adding to one, subtracting from another.
and hopefully we'll be in the plus, a little higher in the plus than it was by doing that.
So in my mind, for me, probably the best way to evaluate is what's the current percentage on each program, and then let's try to improve it by 5% this year. Next year, another 5%. And as a goal, I think we can do that incrementally. And I think that'll give you guys some solid goals, and you can say, okay, soccer, was 75%. Our goal is now 80%
Okay.
recovery.
the hard part, I think we're just talking is if the membership, yeah, I like that, if it's feasible. The hard part is just being able to measure it because
Well, we have the
Soccer-
numbers for every single year. of
I just
all
mean,
these
if the
programs.
rec center, if their memberships go up, soccer will stay the same because they're all becoming memberships, so that
Well,
might.
I just mean programs in general. I'm just thinking like to evaluate each one, like a dance.
I'm just saying that
you know,
soccer might stay the same, but the gym memberships might go way up, or memberships might go up.
We-
But
We might be able to
that reflects to that.
add 2 soccer teams at the same rate, but add accompanying cost, so the cost recovery doesn't change, but we've generated more revenue overall because we've added to this other third program.
Does that
One,
make sense? You understand it, Fred?
I want to make sure that I'm understanding
I'm mixing it right either,
that the position of the position is, we're not interested in providing any programs at less than operating cost, even though participants are already contributing to the organization through their property taxes and sales taxes.
I don't think we have the money for that. I mean, we have no choice
I
at
think
this
it's-
point.
I think it's individual.
Mhm.
I
And you
don't
know-
think you can group it all into one thing. I think you're gonna have to look at
I
how much it is.
personally have never heard anyone say, well, I pay my taxes, so I should be able to go to the Parks and Rec for free. Like, I've never heard anyone say that, ever.
They go- they
there
go-
is
they go
no-
to the park for free.
There is no for free.
The parks are free.
Now, Parks might have something there for free, I don't know, cotton candy tasting thing, you know, and that might be pretty cool to go and fun to go, but, because somebody came in and donated every single thing, but for me to assume that I'm gonna have events and programs and things going on for free because I pay my taxes, I've never heard anyone say that,
Well,
like ever.
I mean, events are different, I think sports, individual, community things are different to me than individual sports activities, it's an individual thing.
Yeah, I
But like
mean,
Freedom Fest, I guess I'd expect not to pay for that. But I just watch it.
We'll put that on our next meeting. How's that?
yeah.
Okay.
So
Are you getting the answer you want from us, Jason?
I am getting an answer.
Clear as
Are you
mud.
getting the answer you want from us? Are you getting an answer from us? That's what I'm trying to say.
I'm getting lots of answers, but I'm not getting one
Yeah.
specific
I
answer.
have no clue what
Which
we're saying.
one specific
I haven't
answer
either.
would-
That's why I'm
would
trying to
help me
clarify
move
that.
forward. So, this cost recovery pyramid, based on national benchmarks and other experts, we're saying, actually, no, we want all of our programs to be in the top. We want 100% cost recovery on every program. No
I
programs
don't think we
should
said
be.
that.
I don't think we said
I
that.
think we're looking at our
We
current
didn't say
performance.
that.
Well,
Ours doesn't really line
I
up
didn't hear anybody say
all the
that.
way with the pyramid.
okay.
We are in a better place than a lot of that.
So,
I
but
think
we're
we're looking
wanting
at
to
our own
move
yards.
up the pyramid. Like, so our community and like, for example, this individual community level benefit or nationwide target goals are at 50 to 70% cost recovery. Ours are currently at like 75 to 85% cost recovery. We're wanting to move those cost recoveries up by 5 to 10 to 15% to be 80, 85, 90% cost recovery.
Well, I'm looking,
Well ahead of national benchmarks.
but I'm looking at what the Board of Aldermen is going to say. And to quote our mayor, he said that the next board meeting will be to agree what we need to slash and burn. And he also said we're operating under a different set of assumptions, a new reality. We have to be out
Well,
there.
on the other hand, though, I asked him directly what the target is for cost savings, and he had no answer.
Well, he
The
puts it
answer
on
was kind of
us.
like, do your best.
Yeah,
He's
so,
putting it on
and that's,
So I don't know what do your best means
Yeah.
in terms of numbers. I mean,
so I'm just trying, like, we can't qualify what we can't quantify, right? Like, so that's where the question about metrics, like, if you can give me where should these programs be on cost recovery, and just better than last year, is that just better than we did?
Some of them
That would
are
be-
kind of better,
that would be
right?
an easy sell, I
That'd be,
think,
yeah,
right?
yeah, but that was back to what Fred's saying. He wants to see at least a 5 to a 10% increase.
And if we don't get there, we
If
cut
we
it.
don't get there, then we need to go back and re-examine what's going on with the program.
Okay.
I don't think we're looking at cutting anything this year. I think we're
Well,
looking at
that's-
how to make it better, how to fix it. And if it's still not working, then we're gonna start looking at cutting. Okay, so I think that this is a year to try to.
Some of these
make work.
benchmarks though are saying those things aren't gonna be better, right? Like, this should be part of the service,
So, the benchmarks.
which we are
saying-
better than
We
most of these
already beat a lot
benchmarks.
of these benchmarks,
So-
right?
Right.
That's what we're saying.
So I think it's hard to say like, we're already better, now we want you to do another 10% better. Are we gonna lose kids? I just don't think it's worth that if we
It's
lose
the
kids
goal. It
getting
doesn't
to do
mean,
things.
doesn't mean we're gonna make it.
Well, the other half of
But
this.
then why are we changing the metrics on it if,
The other half of this equation is patron response surveys. So at the end of our programs, we do a patron response survey. So for example, soccer, how would you rate your experience with soccer? And then based on the participant feedback, do you feel like you got good value for the money? Yes or no? Whatever those responses are. As we're looking at those, where do participant feedback surveys fall into that metric of, well, we're at 70% cost recovery, but I won't sign up again because you had volunteer officials that didn't know anything, or you had paid officials that didn't know anything, or you had no lights on the soccer field. So how do we balance the value versus the cost versus the perceived value? So if I pay $90 for a program, I'm going to expect a different level of excellence than I'm going to expect if I pay $40 for a program. If I pay, $3 for an item, I'm gonna have a different expectation than if I pay $7 for an item.
I don't know, everybody's gonna have their own
Everybody's
personal
gonna have their
take
own.
on all of that stuff. I don't think we can sit here and make a
Yeah,
definitive
I
statement
think-
about any of that.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm sorry, I just.
I agree, and you're gonna, and if, you know what, if after you get these surveys back, bring them to the board, we can discuss that particular program at that time. Right now, we're into this big lump of programs, and we can't make a decision based on a big lump of programs. We have to look at them individually.
And
That's why I just chose just the pool and just the
Right.
concessions tonight,
So.
to talk about.
That's, I think that is getting to the point of what I'm asking, is like, we have 15 more programs this year, none of them are going to be 100% cost recovery, 0.
Yeah.
So, do we look at those and say, we don't need to do that program because we know it's not, or do we say, we need to
We
do that
might.
program, but we need it to be 5% more profitable?
We
need
might.
to do that program, but we need to have.
We might, as you
Participation
finish
score.
each one of those programs, bring it back to us, we can evaluate that
Just
program.
times.
And
So
then
we're-
try to go, give,
So all
advice on that.
programs are full go
for this year.
2026.
I think this year, at this
Okay.
point, yes,
For us to
because
do that, then
we
we have
can't
to improve
analyze it, each program
Yeah.
all at once. We have to look at it when it gets done. We'll go over it then, what we think it needs to be changed on it. Do we want to keep that program? Or are we gonna nix the program for next year? That'll be the time to make
I
that.
think-
My feeling is that's the time to make the decision.
We just need to have a plan, and I think that's really, we don't have a plan that we're shooting for, that's what we're trying to achieve this year.
That's what we're trying to achieve this year. That's our
Saying
plan.
this year we might be status quo, but this is our plan for next year, because we're so, to do some of this
We
stuff.
have so many
Yeah.
programs and so many things that goes on in the parks.
And if you, like you said, if you wait a month to start to make changes, it's like, we're too late.
I don't think we can this year.
I wouldn't mind knowing, prior, let's say soccer starts, I don't know, June 1st. I wouldn't mind on May 1st, knowing where you're at, how many participants you got, how much money you think you're gonna make, or, or is in the pot
Yeah.
at this point.
Yeah,
How many volunteers do you think you might have, coaches, are you missing 3 coaches or whatever? Like, I wouldn't mind knowing where you're at
yeah, that's a
a
good
month or
idea.
so ahead of
Yeah.
time, and then maybe we can help you
Help you
fix
figure-
those problems, and
Yeah.
then,
And then-
then after it's over, I wanna hear it again,
Mhm.
what happened,
Does that sound like a plan?
Sounds good.
I think that's a good idea. I like that forward, and then we can analyze it, that way we'll get a really good picture of that program. Okay, it's getting late, can we move
So
on?
what was the
Go ahead.
bottom line here? We're not really deciding on metrics, or we are,
I think
Does it
this
say-
is-
it's
This is
like
the
national
guidance.
metrics. I
This
feel
is
like
the
we
guidance
are
we
being silly to act like we know better than national.
yeah, I'm not
Metrics,
sure I put much into this, because
think
it
it's
sounds
something-
like we already are
It seems like you're
above,
doing a great job with
performing
this.
above
so
these metrics.
Tell us how we can help you.
What are we supposed to
Like,
do?
these are good metrics. Tell us what we can do.
But
To
they
support
can't
you.
just be good, they have to be better. I mean, the
That's
board of
why-
aldermen is gonna slash.
That's
and
where
burn.
I'm kinda,
We can't not make a change this year. Okay, we can't just
Do we
say,
just
well,
not do
look at us
anything?
compared to this metric. That's like, great, okay, but look, the city right now is 950,000 in the red. And they're looking for us to pull our piece.
Yeah,
And we really
Everybody
have to,
does.
we have to recommend changes.
We
Or
already
they will
have.
do it for us.
We already have recommend changes on the pool, we already recommend changes in the concession, we've already done the membership. All that, it's not a
Can't
whole
make that
lot.
950,000.
No, we need
Just in the parks.
we need 345,000.
RPs,
Yeah, what is RPs? What's the
328.
target? I got
Which
no
is
idea.
still not.
328 on their sheet.
Is it 328? I got 345 on this one.
This is on the website for the,
Oh, no, I don't have that one, I have the park
this is
budget.
their proposed budget comparison, whatever. So,
That's the
This is on the
budget.
Board of Aldermen.
Right, but this is the budget.
I
This
was
one-
just going off this sheet.
Yeah,
They put
this,
on
the
there.
budget, they gave us the budget for this year
Oh,
already, so
yeah,
I'm looking
so-
at 345,000.
Yeah, 3.5. yeah.
So, our goal is to get that 345,000 down. How much? As the mayor said, don't pick a
As much as
number.
we can.
As much as we
Do
can.
your best.
Yeah.
Do our best, we're gonna do our best in getting it down. Hopefully this will help, hopefully this will help, hopefully membership will help.
Yeah,
And we'll individually do the programs, and we can make the adjustments, because soccer comes twice a year. So whatever we do in spring soccer can be adjusted for fall soccer.
I like the idea that Fred said, for you to try and do your 5%, as best as you can. If you can't get to 5%, you can't get to 5%, but you do the best you can. At least you tried.
Okay, so let's move on.
As an increase in cost recovery.
Right.
Yes. Okay.
All right?
And then, you know what, if you guys want to talk about it again next meeting, let's do. Okay, if you're not quite clear on the way you want us to go, bring it back up next meeting. Okay, Fred's got a big presentation for us.
Okay. I think most of this you can digest later, but I just kind of wanted to go over some ideas that I have for really thinking outside the box. So I kind of organized it in terms of 3 R's. Revenue increases, reduce overall costs, and reinvest in the parks. So the main selling points up front, revenue increases. I would like to propose selling the Highline Soccer Complex and moving it to Jackson Street Park. I've got some good stuff on the inside here that we'll talk about how and why. Some additional possible revenue increases. Since it'll be in a high visibility area, we might consider selling the naming rights to our new little fields and maybe having some advertisements out there as well. And then we already talked about some gate fees and all the sporting events. So ways that we can reduce our overall costs. If we were to get rid of the Highline Soccer Complex, we would have about, I don't know, I just put 12, I don't know how many acres you guys actually maintain out there, but it would reduce that, by that many acres that, we use it for a couple months and we maintain it for the rest of the year without really any usage. Eliminate the need for monthly rentals on things we can purchase. We'll look at more details on that in a sec. Eliminate the pond decking, which requires a lot of maintenance. It's something we've talked about, I believe.
The pond decking, can you explain that?
In front of the rec center, there's a little pond,
Oh, yeah.
and there's decking that we keep having to rebuild and replace. And for the amount of joy we get out of it, it may be something that just falls off. Tree City USA, did we cancel that, or?
It looks like it, according to what the budget is, they took it from 17,000 to 500, so I suspect that at that dollar amount, we'll no longer be a Tree City. Is that correct? We are required to maintain a certain amount of dollars.
We are required to spend $2 per citizen per tree on tree care and maintenance in the city to maintain the Tree City status. That does not necessarily mean that it has to be spent from a dedicated Tree City budget line. The crews that do the storm cleanup, like Public Works did all that storm cleanup after the April 26th storm, blew all those trees down across the roads. Like all of that labor cost can be counted as $2 per citizen to meet the Tree City guidelines. So that is money that's going to be spent anyway doing that maintenance. So we can remove the Tree City budget line and still maintain the Tree City status.
Okay.
So I think it might be more clear to not see it on there just because
Yeah, that's
I
a,
don't, it's like when people
That's
bundle,
an accounting
I get
thing.
confused when people bundle, you know? So the next one is, I would like to have some separate meeting where we can reconsider our software costs. We've got Asset Panda, that's 6,000 per year, Rec Desk, which is how much per year?
6,800,
Okay, and just to consider, like, I know there are options,
right.
and I know we may not want them, but should we? Do we use Microsoft Office, or do we use Google?
We do, the city is on a Microsoft Office suite. the whole-
But we have a
whole
share of
city.
that, right?
Right.
Well, couldn't we potentially, instead of doing that, use Google, which is free, like the
Um,
school systems do?
That's, I mean, that's definitely an option, that's, I think that's a board and
That's its whole city.
top-down decision, I don't know
But
if
we
we,
can
I
tell
don't know.
that we don't want to participate.
Yeah.
and-
That's what he's saying, but I like, because you're saying this is what we're proposing, you asked us to make some proposals, so
Yeah.
there's,
I agree.
So I would love to have a separate meeting for that, just to kind of talk through, and
Sure.
then, the next line, Val and I had talked a little bit, we're not really sure what's in the vehicle leases. We think that there might be one in there for you, there might be one in there for the truck, we kind of want to talk through that.
There are 4 in there for parks.
Okay, so I would like to talk through those and see, is there any we can cut, even if it means cutting yours, you know, I understand, please have. So, after this, you know, we can reinvest in a couple of pieces. Install a year-round bathroom at the Jackson Street Park, at the pavilion. Run some water to it where you guys know what I'm talking about, the pavilion, where there's a garage door that goes up and down. Within that, that's where I would propose, and I've got some pictures of it too. We rent 3 storage containers.
We purchased those at the end of the year last year.
You did?
Yeah, to get those, to get out from under that recurring
Well,
cost.
never mind, good job. And then potentially with the revenue from the sale, run water to the Miller Farm Park and install a very simple bathroom building, kind of like how Sequoia has. Expand the size of the parking lot a little bit at Jackson where the mulch is, to account for the additional parking for the soccer fields. And then Miller Farm Park for future usage, since we're investing in a building out there. So here's the how behind the soccer fields. So the current setup is we have 3 small fields, and there's probably a better term for all this. 3 small fields, 2 medium, and 2 large. So I set about to look at our current setup and say, based upon the measurements I could gather off of Google, can we fit it in the Jackson Street Park? So after that page is just the highlight of where the current soccer field is and what I recommend selling. The next one is the future soccer fields, so it would be behind the swimming pool, in the middle of the walking track, to the side of the, I don't even know if I want to call it a pond because it's not a year-round pond, drainage area, we'll say. Next page is kind of a zoomed-in version of that, and we should be able to fit everything in there based upon the measurements that I came up with. We can actually even have one additional small goal. The 2 up top are 2, there's 2 within each of those boxes. I feel like there is enough in there, and I did the math, so feel free to double check my math. The bottom right of that image is what I had labeled as the new potential parking. There's not a whole lot to it. There's actually some images I want to show you too, but that's where we currently hold the mulch, which we get complaints about sometimes. So can we fit people in the parking spots? So right now at Jackson Street Park, we have 111 spots in just the basic parking lot. Obviously, we're going to have people there doing their thing at the park, so we're not going to get all those spots at a given time. After that page, I have the backside of the park. So the backside of the park has a really long strip along the road that could probably hold an additional 15 cars parking there 10 to 15. And then if you're looking at the next page where the mulch pile is currently, if we were to make that, we'll just say all gravel or asphalt or whatever you want to put there, I believe we could fit probably an additional 20 cars around there. So I think with the 3 pieces of parking, it should, now after that, you've got the current setup of the Highline soccer complex parking. It's kind of hard to estimate because it doesn't really have any lines on it, but I just kind of tried to segment out, and I think within the black, it's about 90 spots, and then there's usually a pretty good amount of overflow. So the things that we'll get on this, just to kind of reiterate, we'll be able to run, so this is on the page, it says Jackson Street Park Reinvestment. Run water to the pavilion, so the current one on top says where the current location is. That's our permanent bathrooms attached to the pool and also where they set up the porta johns. The pavilion is in the middle, that's where I propose to put the new setup, and then in relation at the very bottom is where the new soccer kids will be. To do this, we would need to do some additional work on the turf out there at this specific location. Jason, I'll let you talk a little bit about that afterwards, maybe what that would look like and the cost. Turn the mulch storage into an additional parking lot. Okay, so the cost reduction details. Porta johns are about $457 a month, and that's through the winter time, so maybe 6 months, something like that per year.
Yeah, this year we actually canceled those, so we don't have any porta johns out there now.
Removing the pond decking, and then we've already done the storage containers. So we've already covered the other notes about the shortfall, and then so far no plans to cancel Freedom Fest. So anyway, that's kind of my proposal. I'd love you guys to poke some holes in it. Give me your thoughts.
I was just thinking we have more open space at another farm park. Not that I want to sell park, because I don't, but we have more open space at another farm park. And I would think Jason would need to look at that and bring us back some prices, or some ideas of prices on this. I mean, even if we were to sell the soccer area, what could we feasibly get for it?
So this is homework, right? I mean,
This is homework. This is a short term, this can be a short-term fix, but after that, what are we gonna do? We're gonna be one park less. Not that I'm disagreeing with you, I don't. It's just something we need to really think hard about before we sell property. Property's not gonna get any cheaper.
No, I think the
It's
city
only
would be
gonna get
crazy.
more expensive.
I think the city, if I was a city, I wouldn't leave it with a property that she absolutely had to.
I mean, that's your absolute,
Last resort.
at the very absolute last resort. But, you know, it might be,
But maybe we're there.
one of the other things we can do is we're just brush hogging it at the end of the year. We can let someone go in there and cut it and bale it. They take the hay, but at least they're cutting it.
Yeah.
And if they can't, we can't give, because they'll take it for doing it. But if we can't do that as a city, charge them $1 a bale. We'll make 15, 20, 30, $100 off of it.
Yeah.
You know, it's better than sitting there growing tall and getting, and we're brush hogging it down once a year. At least someone else is doing it.
And we can still move the soccer fields without selling the land.
Right.
And that would still reduce the overall cost.
Okay.
Yeah, and we could look at that, you know, I agree.
Keep the property and move it.
And maybe move soccer, because we do have a lot of open flat land at Miller. I don't know.
It's kind of a hill.
It's tricky to move a soccer, you have to really, I mean, it's level up. If there's any, I mean, my kids had to go play a game of no net where 2 kids broke their ankles because they just did it at a park. If it's not leveled and all the
Yes,
things, like every inch of every part of that field has to be,
Right, and right now,
and that's an expensive process to
it
go
is,
through.
right now, we
If
have a
you-
whole problem out there, don't we? Go get a bunch of gum,
So,
down
Guns?
the hole,
Oh,
gum.
God.
that's it.
I was more
And
excited.
gun.
I was more
Hey,
excited.
I've been known to take Wacko's mold. Let me tell you, shocked the crap out of my niece. There, that thing's dying now.
I would just say, as a soccer mom, you have an injury at a place like that, you don't go back and play again. You just say, no, it's not worth it.
Yeah. So let's go over this, since it's getting to be almost 8 o'clock. We can bring this up again, maybe Jason could put together pros and cons on this. You know, one thing I would love us to see is lights at some soccer field somewhere where we can play a game out with lights. But we can't even think about that. You know, we can't think about $85,000-$100,000 for lights. So let's look at this, let's think about this and go over it. So, you know, what else can we do besides selling the park? And I think we have, 20 acres out there in Miller Farm Park?
I believe it's 24 acres.
It's 24 acres?
For soccer or Miller?
Oh, so you said it Miller?
No, soccer.
Soccer, I think, is about 24 acres.
Yeah, and if I remember correctly, we bought it really, really cheap.
How much is it, Miller?
There's 18 total, 18 or 23 total acres at Miller, but it's,
That includes the
that
disc
includes
golf.
the disc golf course and the woods.
The woods,
Which
trees
don't.
and that.
Big for fun soccer.
You can't rent out or,
Yeah, that's the other thing. Can you rent, could we divide the property at Miller and rent out that half that we're not using? I mean, is it fenced?
The half that we're not using.
Uh-huh.
If we're using 12, the 12 that's not being used, could we rent that to somebody?
I
Like
think I'm
cattle
confused.
farmer.
At Miller or at soccer?
At soccer. Sorry, I may be getting mixed up. I keep saying Miller, but I meant soccer.
Okay.
Sorry, at the soccer park.
We do not have a fence around any portion of the soccer field, so it's
Okay.
not just the entire property.
Okay, just, okay.
But if somebody's gonna rent it, you just make it part of the deal, they can fence it if they wanna rent it.
In 2005, Valerie, correct me if I'm wrong, in 2005, Jill Simmons put together a Land and Water Conservation Fund grant to move soccer fields from Jackson Street to the Highline Soccer Complex.
Yes, but I don't remember if that was her or who it was, but yes, it was part of the grant.
Yeah,
I can see the neighborhood here not loving having it right there, which
I mean,
some will love it, some won't. The danger of being closer to the street, I mean, it's not a busy street, but I think you have a little more that way.
I mean, there is no, like I told Fred the other day, like I agree, there's no stone we shouldn't turn. I'm happy to dig into it and find out what we can sell 25 acres for. It'll be probably $250,000. That's not enough to fix this year's problem.
It's a one-time thing. It's a short-term,
And
one-time
we lose
thing.
that.
Is there a way we could move it
It's
out
so
of the
great.
parks and into the, I know it's just
Is
moving
there
it.
some penalty for us selling that because we bought it with grant money?
I don't know. I pulled that notebook out today and I was helping with Brenda get the pool stuff ready, and I didn't have a chance to call the Land and Water Conservation Fund folks with our contract number, so I don't know. I'll call on that too, but when I started to fill out the grant application for the playground, one of the things was like, it commits the property in perpetuity, but I don't know if that's only if the Land and Water Conservation Fund grant was used to purchase the property or if it was used to upgrade the property.
It was used to purchase.
So
But I think it's worth looking.
yeah, but
To
it
see what
takes,
it
you know,
means. I mean,
a half an hour of sitting on the phone with bureaucrats to ask the question and they'll tell me the answer.
Or out of curiosity, if nothing else.
Yeah.
How much is that worth? I don't even know.
Or is there something, whether like renting it, that we can make money off the land that we have?
at least sustain it, and then just, keep it going.
You talked once about putting out the
You
bike.
can lease it for pasture or
Like
hay or
that.
any
Yeah.
number of things, but it's not gonna make you much money, I can tell you.
No, it's not gonna make as much money, but if we're
That personal experience.
If we're not
with that,
having to
it's not-
maintain
not
half
gonna
of
be-
it.
Right.
and someone else can
It
maintain
will cut your
that.
maintenance, so that's.
Yeah, she's got your maintenance.
That's what you're, a lawnmower
how
pools.
much does it cost to maintain that every year?
We're talking about the lawnmower
Outside of
pools,
soccer
the
season.
tractor pools.
Oh, yeah, we used to have that.
So you
We
do
used to have
that?
lawnmower races. On the 4th of July, we used to have the 4th of July was
I
over
guess how many
there.
acres are
Well,
you
north
maintaining?
was where they had
So we're
it.
maintaining about
Yeah,
7
tractor pull,
acres, and we're
long
maintaining it
tractor
once a week in
racing
the
around
off season.
track.
So we're maintaining
7 acres, once a week in the off-season.
in the off-season, so
A lot
basically,
of mowing.
It's a lot of money.
basically, we're looking at, our mow season is April through October, so 6 months of mowing total.
And really just 1 to 2 months of soccer.
Well, for two in the spring and two in the fall.
I mean, I would love to explore, you know, taking it back to having someone hay it. You know, we get a minimal amount of money from it, but the amount that we don't have to maintain is gonna really
That's where your money is, is saving on the maintenance. or-
Save on maintenance, yeah.
Mowing.
Yeah.
Started shining.
Well,
this
I
community
mean, like
department.
if you rented it out or something like that, they could be responsible for the mowing. I mean, you know, I don't know, I would make them do it, as part of the contract. You can rent this park, but you gotta mow our soccer fields once a month, at least for 6 months. You know, part of the contract, that's what I would do. I don't know.
Okay, have we given you enough to do? Because our next meeting's like 2 weeks, right?
That's
Yep.
it.
All right, we got enough to do for you?
It's my job, I'm happy to do it.
Okay, guys, what else what do we want to see at next meeting? Let's kind of set that up. What do we want to look at next
When
week?
were we saying our next meeting was?
In about 2 weeks, I think. Yeah, last Thursday of the month. So,
At 6 or at 5?
it's at 6, no, 5 o'clock, dadgummit, I was in a mess today trying to get everybody contacted this 5 o'clock change. I came home and I was all stressed.
It'll be the 29th.
29th, so I'm gonna put it to you now, what
5
do we
o'clock
want?
or at 6?
6.
O'clock.
I mean,
Not-
if
not
it's
even-
gonna be a 2-hour meeting, I'd rather have it at 5 or 5:30.
Well, it's pretty hard for a lot of you guys to get here. Hopefully we won't have a 2-hour meeting.
Let's open that up tonight.
I'm sorry. But this is the first one, it's gonna be longer, right? Okay, so think about what you wanna look at, can I set that out? And no one had responded to me on what they wanted to talk about tonight, so it was just my decision.
And you made a good decision.
So-
It was very good.
Tell me what you wanna put on the agenda for next meeting, and let's move on. Move on to the next stage of what we wanna look at.
I just have one last question.
Okay,
If we sold land, would it go to the parks or the city?
general fund.
Whatever.
Go to the general fund, wouldn't it?
That's a good question.
I don't know how they would handle the financing on that.
She's thinking, do we get the money?
I mean,
So,
If we came up to an agreement with the
Goes to the
board of
city.
aldermen, I guarantee we could find a way.
I think,
It's just accounting.
yeah, it would be a question for Gina to answer, or Wes.
They would all, they
so
would balance it out.
it depends on how you set that up. So when the water tower, the tower came in, sits on the park land. Was that T-Mobile, I think? The park board insisted that that income, since it's on park land, comes into the park revenue. And we get it, so it's $18,000, that was a good deal for us. So we would have to make sure it comes to us, if that's where we went to go. Okay? Anything else, guys?
So I think you asked the question, what do we want to talk about next
What do we
meeting?
want to talk about next meeting?
So I think, I still don't understand the expectations on metrics. How the board wants to know how, if a program is doing well, I need to know how to define well. So maybe we think about that in the next 2 weeks and have a more concrete answer of what well
So
looks
you want
like.
us to kind of look at this and
Look at that. I did include Nixa's, Matt Kraus down at Nixa has been a great asset. I've just been badgering him and blowing up his cell phone, talking to him every chance I get. He's been Nixa's park director for 15 years, so. They've got some interesting things going on down there, so I'm kind of trying to model after that. Hopefully you guys will review that packet. We can talk about
Okay,
that next month.
let's put that on
Next
the
month,
agenda
next
for
week.
the Mark Nixon Parks and Recs. Let's put that on the agenda for next time for sure. Oh, and number 2, I almost forgot about this, but I didn't stick it to my notepad. You sent something out about some kind of meeting type thing with the Stacy Wells,
Yes.
meeting every 2 weeks. what exactly is that?
That is the pivot program that we talked about at the last at the last work study, which is the getting everyone on the same page to identify what our sports program goals should be in terms of either revenue, participant, programming, et cetera, et
Okay,
cetera. et
is this
cetera.
the class she does quite often? Is it something that's coming up?
Most people
This
pay
is,
for it.
this is a one-off class for us that is part of her consulting service. She's just doing it for us for free because I asked a favor.
Okay, so the issue that
Well, it
I'm,
looks like she's trying to launch her next thing,
Mhm.
which is a consulting business.
Right.
She's jumped around. She used to be the general manager of the body in Dallas
Oh,
Sports
okay. Yeah,
Complex.
yeah.
So we've known her from being in the Chamber of Commerce. She's bounced around
okay,
a
so,
number of things, and this is kind of her next thing, I think.
yeah, but my concern is this program is me having 4 meetings in a month, just dealing with parks, okay? When I already have 2 meetings someplace else. So what I'm saying is, can we postpone that until for a month or 2 and look at it again? Because I'd like to kind of get us kind of where we need to be, and then maybe move on to that when we get down to parks down to one.
I think this is part of the plan to get us where we need to be. I think it's going to address some of the metrics questions that we have. I think it's going, I mean, I get it. I definitely don't want to spend an extra night.
You're like asking yourself for 3 more meetings a month. You already do enough, right?
Well, I mean, my staff will be there.
So is this like an evening thing or a daytime thing?
It will be evenings because she understands that you all have regular jobs. So it will be evenings, I believe, she suggested 6 to 8 for 4 weeks instead of 2 Saturdays. We could look at 2 Saturdays if you'd rather spend a Saturday at the rec center doing it.
Both sound appetizing to me.
Yeah, don't they?
Yeah, I'm not
2
convinced.
hours on a Wednesday
Not
for 4
convinced.
weeks in a row.
Every other week for 8 weeks.
Wednesday's hard for
I'm Mm-hmm.
me.
not convinced there's a whole lot of
I have
value in it, to
church.
be honest.
Can we talk about that another time? Because I kind of like, right now I'm
It's
just
a
trying to
whole
get my
nother meeting, it sounds like.
That's like a whole other meeting, which I'm not against.
So
But
It's
I'm
supposed
just
to help
saying,
us with all this other stuff, I think is what you're saying, is that's
Yeah.
why
right,
it is.
sooner than later is what I'm trying to say.
If we're looking at improving the sports programs in 26 to decide if we eliminate them in 27, I think we need to do this as soon as possible to move into that next phase of how do we make sure that we maintain sports programs in Willard. And I'm hopeful that this will at least kind of cast a vision for that and give us some guideposts to shoot at. I understand it's a lot to ask. I hope that some of you are able to make it to some of them. My staff is, I've got Ashley and Sam and I are planning on doing them regardless.
Is it already set for Wednesdays?
It's not set for Wednesdays. I
That's
can-
a tough night for me.
Yeah,
I can't do that.
I thought that I had sent out an email saying what time works for y'all, but.
You did.
Any other
Wednesdays.
night, I just have church obligations Wednesday nights.
yeah,
so I can't get
what was
out.
that? Was
It's
it,
not
that was
Maybe
the
like a Tuesday.
Tuesday, Thursday, I thought it was.
Thursday would interact with our board meetings.
Yeah, wasn't it Tuesday,
Maybe
Thursday?
No,
It's just fine.
No, she-
Was it Wednesday?
I can do
Oh,
it. A different day
sorry.
would work better for me, sorry.
So,
If there's a different day that will work better and there can be any amount of consensus, I'm happy to propose a different day. If it will, if it will have more people in attendance, if it's, that doesn't seem like something the board is interested in, we can just keep it on Wednesdays, and if you can make it, you can make it, if you can't.
or just do it on Thursdays. We always seem to have something on Thursday. Always, we seem to be able to work on Thursdays.
Yeah, Thursdays with this, Tuesdays or Thursdays.
Yeah, well,
If I had to choose 2 days,
no,
that'd be
because
my
we're
days.
gonna,
I
this is
prefer
gonna be
Tuesday.
every 2 weeks until we get it, let's put it in between them or whatever, so that way I know at least I
Friday
can be
night,
on
I
Thursdays.
bring my wife.
Date night?
Yeah. On Thursdays?
Friday.
Oh, Friday. And
If she can-
I'm
on
gonna
Thursday,
be
we're-
club balling for the
I think
next
that'd be
2 weekends, so that's gonna be out.
So what,
Can we set it on a Thursday? If we can make it, we can't?
So alternating Thursdays, so Thursday,
Yes.
Thursday, 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 Thursday.
Well, at
We'll
least
just
it's a
plan on-
consistent
We'll
Thursday.
just plan on hanging out
Instead
every
of,
Thursday for the
instead
next
of
2
twice
months.
a week or on Saturday.
I'm not
It's gonna be
I'm not
every
gonna
other
commit to that.
Thursday
That's
or
okay, you
every
don't have to.
Thursday.
It's every
You
other.
don't
You're
have-
saying,
For
this
8
work is
weeks.
gonna be somewhere
Like
every
they would
Thursday
meet
night
4 times.
For a short amount of
4
time.
times.
Okay.
for the
And you don't,
extended
and you know what, it's not a requirement. That is an extra thing, that's not a requirement.
Can we meet one Thursday, start at 5 and end like at 2 in the morning, just to have it all done?
That'll make our once a
That
month
would be-
meeting.
That would be best for me.
And eat little pizzas from the
We're good, we're
roadside.
good.
Leave them.
Jason,
Have
can
$5
Would you do it virtually? No.
We'll just keep
that's
getting,
fine.
throwing you $5
we get
bills.
the recovery rates on the program?
I mean,
so we can
I
have
think-
that?
I
If
think
it could be
that would-
condensed, I would do it
I think that
virtually.
would help with
I don't-
us visualizing.
Again, it's a consulting thing, I don't know.
That's okay, you know what, this is a volunteer program, we all volunteer our time.
Yeah, don't
If
feel
you
bad.
can't volunteer on that day, that's fine. That's perfectly okay.
Yeah,
So,
don't feel bad.
Does your staff want it spread out over like that, or they'd rather just do a Saturday?
I think my staff would probably just rather come in and get it done, whether it's a Monday or a Saturday or whenever.
And it would be 8 hours on a
It's
Saturday?
an 8-hour course.
So
We can split it up into 2 4-hour sessions, I'm as flexible as anyone because,
you're crazy, sorry to say.
yeah.
I mean,
like
a one
said,
and done
I
is
would,
painful, but it'd be one and done.
it's not one,
instead of-
it's two and done, isn't it?
No, she's saying you can do a 1 8-hour
I think we can
session.
do a 1 8-hour session, like a work day, Valerie, like one
Listen.
8-hour chunk.
We'll cook mini pizzas.
So many pizzas, yeah, there we go. I'd have to look at my schedule, because I know that this weekend I'll be in Kansas City. 2 weekends from now, I think I'll be in Tulsa, then I'll be back in Kinsall on the weekend. Combo, right, you travel. And then, so they know I can let you know what Saturday I'll be in town.
Well,
It won't be this Saturday.
okay, I think, soccer starts in March, we're already registering for the soccer program, so, the sooner we can get it done, the better, because that will impact the other programs. Obviously, we're already registering for soccer, so if there's fee changes proposed, they're not going to go into effect for soccer. So then we're looking at the next sport, baseball, if we put it off, we're trying to get to where we're registering for sports enough in advance so that we can know what's going on. So ideally, it would be soon.
Here's my question, can you set it up what works best for you and your staff? Let all of us know, and what if we can only be there, what if it is like 8 hours, but we can be there for a couple hours? Is that beneficial? Or it's like if you're not there for all of it, you're not gonna get out of it? Do you see what I'm saying?
So the board being in place is more for less of what you're gonna get out and more of what you're gonna put in. The feedback that you have about, oh, well, we did this and it was successful, we didn't do this and it was unsuccessful, well, whatever that is, it's more about the extra viewpoints of getting everyone on the same page for, if it's a 5% cost recovery increase, if it's a 10% participant increase, it's more having more folks engaged in the process and less about whether it will prepare you to be the next
If she offers that,
soccer program.
if she offers it online, then I can watch and bake at the same time. and
So
pay attention.
virtual might be more preferred for this group.
Well, for me, because for me,
I can possibly look at some of it.
I mean, because I could do other things and pay attention to what's going on. I used to do it at work all
Okay.
the time.
I will ask her if there are virtual options, and then if there are virtual options, when would be, I don't wanna just, well, do you have a virtual option? Great. Do you guys wanna do a virtual option? Yes, I have this available, this available. Can we pick a time frame and say we can do it here, I won't be there?
Is it can she do a recording and we can watch it before the next meeting?
Or is it interactive?
It's interactive, again, it's what you put in more than what you get out, so,
Okay. Well, in that case, I won't be paying attention that much. I mean, I will, but I don't know if I can be interacting. I mean, cause I'll have cake batter all over me kind of stuff, you know, getting into my oven, telling Alexa to start the timer and,
So, is there a preferred day or time?
Tuesdays or Thursdays, that's for me.
yeah, if you're gonna break it up,
I
Tuesday
mean,
and
I travel
Thursday
something,
is
so it's
fine.
just, I can't, yeah, it just depends on
If you're gonna do an 8-hour day, a Saturday would be obvious.
Yeah, I can do, hold on, let me just look at my schedule. I'll be gone this weekend, I'll be gone 11:30 at 1, 2, 7. So after 2, 7, I'll have a couple of weekends, and then I go 2:28 to Tulsa.
Why don't we all just text him your preferred time and let him distill it down if it's gonna
Okay.
work?
Yeah,
it.
that's
We
fine.
just set it.
Because if
and-
Set it,
we're
then
gonna
if
come
we
to
can
an
make it, we
agreement
can
here,
make it.
Sitting here.
Yeah, because we're ready to get home.
Craig wants to go.
Just chomp over there.
Okay, all right.
There are so many times when you're just like Sam. I mean,
I'm sorry.
Craig is the most laid back, like, I've never seen you like this ever.
He's more laid back than his brother.
Yeah, he is,
I'll agree
I
with
would
that.
hope so, but.
you
I
definitely,
don't know,
that's not even
because
a
it's hard to
contest.
self-evaluate.
I'm saying, I've sat in a lot of meetings with you, Craig, and I've never seen you this anxious.
He's ready to go, let's make a
No,
motion,
it's not.
please.
I love it.
Let's make a motion
A lot of
to
time.
adjourn. Is there a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Nay?
Craig,
Aye.